This is Harry Drums, and today I'm going to be walking you through my new app, PracticAI, to help you practice in between lessons. First, I'll guide you through a fresh guest account from start to finish. Second, I'll show you what a pro account looks like after months of usage. And third, throughout the video, I'll do a compare and contrast of both accounts. Hello and welcome. We are here today to do the walkthrough. Starting off with the guest account. So I've already downloaded the app. I'm going to tap on the app. This is the welcome screen. As I'm anonymous, I'm going to go to Let's Go. This is the first thing that you'll see. The most important thing is that you need to give using this app time, especially around 6 to 8 real sessions, so that you can start to see the data really build up within the app itself. Let's drum. Here, because some people under 18 will be using it, we only allow people above 13 to use it. So at the moment I'm going to say over 18, and then I'm going to say Bob. What should we call you? Bob is the onboarding for step 1. What level you at? I'm going to say beginner. Again, I'm just making this up. I'm going to say I've got electronic kit, as most of my students have electronic drums. I'm going to say under a year. I'm going to say songs and fills. So my main stuff, probably if you're a beginner, you're probably going to want to focus on grooves and probably speed. 3-month goal, I'm going to keep it simple just for demonstration purposes. We're going to say I want to learn Yellow by Coldplay. I'm going to pick next. That's my 3-month goal to have. And then at the moment, I can only pick up to 5 days a week. Optionally, you can tap how long you want the session to be. So let's say typical beginner, I'm going to practice 3 times a week, and I want to practice 30 minutes a session, which is about an hour and a half a week. Let's go. I'm going to pick my day. Let's say I'm going to say Thursday, Saturday, and Tuesday at, let's say, 5 p.m. Let's say 4:30 actually. 4:30 till 5. Next, and then allow notifications, allow, and then you get to review everything just to make sure that it's all right, looks good, and anything else you should know. This goes into Riley's memory so that she can use this when she's thinking about your routines and how she's basically approaching you. So for now, I'm going to say, just started learning, but excited to learn. There we are. Cool, now setting it up. Great, so as you see on here, shows that you're on a guest account. Riley has welcomed you, and also we've set up a 3-month goal here. As the user's not put a tempo in, there is no number to hit as such, but over time, if you start to say that the song is at the 82 beats per minute, I believe, or something like that, then you can start to use BPM as a target. In a guest, we recommend hitting at least 7 sessions to really start to see the actual app moving forwards in a way that seems helpful. On the very first session, however, you will need to create your own routine based on the fact that if you were to go to human, then at the end of the day they would have to know something a bit about you, ideally, to get started off with. So you can add a section, say what the name is. So for now, let's just do Coldplay Yellow. I'm going to say I'm going to put the full 30 minutes. I'm going to say, and verse. I'm going to add that section, and that's your first section. If you've got more than that, then you can obviously add more to it, but for now this is just a preview just to get a sense of it. And as time goes on, the cards start to fill out how many days you practiced, how many minutes you spent at the kit. If I were to go into your account, it shows you how many days you got, so you pick save. I'm saving how much I want to practice a week. It shows you when you want to practice. There's optional a wind down, but we're going to keep that for now. Yes. So this is what the practice will look like. No forms while you play, so you're going to have to talk into the app, and then Riley will basically pick it up. This is what the session looks like. Of course, you would have more if you have more sections. This is basically how it works. If you were short for time, then you could pick a session if you had 3 or 4 different parts to your routine. And then just quickly go into overview for the journey. This is the overall journey. So for 3-month goal, your 3-month goal will show here. Learn yellow by Coldplay, and as you start to enter data, you'll start to see how close you are to your goal. This will be non-numeric to begin with, but I recommend saying what BPM it is. You will have also wins, so Riley will pick up on achievements you've made over time, and this will start to build up as you do it. And there's a bunch of other analytical stuff, like how many sessions you've had in a month, how much time you spent at the kit, and how consistent you've been overall. You also start to build up various folders, so you can start to specifically see where different sections are, and you'll start to see all your sessions pile up. We've also got a tab here, so you can click on revisiting. This is stuff that you've done in the past, but you've not done in quite a while, so Riley will pick it back up. Maybe it's worth revisiting. Wins, you can log a win here manually as well, so if I wanted to log a win, I could pick any kind of win, such as a song. Like, actually, I didn't record this, but I've logged that I did do a song. Let's quickly go through a practice session. I'm going to start practicing. This is what the session looks like. It will show you how much time you've got remaining with a visual timer going around the now practicing section. You can also pause sections if you need to, and it'll show you how long you've paused up here. And then you can resume. Of course, you've got more sections, then it will show you more data there. So let's just say, imagine I play for 20 minutes. I'm going to start to talk into Riley now. Oops, that was too short, my bad. Today, I thought I learnt it particularly well. I can now play the intro, but I'm still working on the verse. I think next time I will work on the chorus and start to work on that ride cymbal groove. So she's taken that in, and here's what she caught. So it will show you what you've said. So it'll show you the focus area, and you can pick whether it was off day, solid, challenging, or at my limit. So I'm just gonna, for argument's sake, pick challenging. I'm gonna log it, and that's it. So, and then it'll show you what you've logged here, so that you can go back to it. I might have mumbled a little bit, so I didn't pick up quite right, but remember, as I develop this app more, it will improve more. So now I'm going to finish. So this is optional. I put this in because I think that it's really important to be able to count in and out, to breathe in and out from start to finish. This is default, just straight 2 minutes, especially if you've had a bit of a chaotic session, but you may not need it. There's an option to skip it or change it in settings. Alright, as it's non-numeric, I've not got a BPM. It's going to be based on whether it was closer, about the same, or tougher. So I'm going to say it was closer to the goal, which is learning it. It's going to show you what is being tracked, and then it's going to show you, again, off day, solid, challenging, or at my limit. I'm going to say, overall, it was a solid effort. Okay, confirm session, and then you can talk a bit more if you want to talk a bit more freely, or you can just have nothing to add, or type it instead, whatever. So I'm going to just say something. Overall, learning the song was pretty good today. I think next session I will add a warm-up routine that I've been working on with my teacher and add that at the start, which I think will help me get into the song a bit quicker. She's just listening, and then she'll log it, she's heard it. File it, okay, and then back to home. Cool, so at this point, you need to start to, in order to keep your progress, you'll need to sign up. So, I see at the top here, it showed you that it'd be worth to sign up or remind me later. Okay, so I'd recommend usually doing all 7 and seeing how you feel. Sign up, and it'll show you what you're going to keep as you go onto the Lite account. So Lite will make sure that you've got all your data and it's kept free still. So you keep all the benefits. Okay, so that's what it'll look like, and then you'd carry on from there. Now I'm going to show you what it'll look like on the Pro account on my iPad. We are back again, this time on the Pro account. So this is my session. As you see, it says Pro at the top there. Here you can add your own profile. Here I've obviously been using it for quite a long time, so I've been doing it for 16 weeks in total. And it's been quite busy with my teaching, so I've not really logged much. But most of it will stay the same. You can change the color scheme of things to it's a bit, just make it more personalized. I like my wind down short. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. You can manage your subscription from here. You can also change emails, all the fun stuff. You can leave feedback, which I recommend doing, because I will pick it up. And that's about it. You can also change your stuff here. So it's gonna come up in a minute. There's no photos because I don't use this for personal usage. And then you can change your level drumming as you go up. Should monitor that and make sure that you're setting the right level, because Riley does adjust how she speaks to you. Okay, so this is my 3-month goal. I want to build 160 BPM bilateral, and that shows me that I've got 13 to go here, from 147 to 1460, and it shows me I'm getting closer, which is quite motivational. In Pro account, you also see that you can shape tomorrow's routine. So if you know tomorrow, you might want a low-key session or steady session or sharp sessions. Tomorrow I want a sharp session, and then she'll make that more intense. Here's my routine. This has been built up over time, so as I've practiced more, Riley has started to take more note. Most of the time it will stay the same because the idea is meant to be progressive, so you only move on when you've actually completed something. Here you can edit the plan, you can add sections, you can move it up and down, you can remove it, you can really customize it to how you want to. And then here you can see how many days a week you've done, and you also see how many hours you've done as well. With the hours, you can see that you've got a minimum, yeah? The minimum you hit, and then a total. If you hit that, then you've hit your target. Cool. Program will look like this. Again, it makes more sense when you do this because I can pick and choose which one I want. Okay, and then the login will work the same as I showed you in the Lite version. Okay, this is what it'll look like when you actually get into it. These are all the wins I've had. Recently I came back past 145 after a bit of a reset. Okay, and it just shows you it was a comeback. I've had 2 comebacks. I've had 15 weeks in a row, which is consistency, and I completed Lamb of God, Laid to Rest. And remember, you can always log a win manually, but I'm not going to do that now. There's also a worth revisiting, yeah. So I've always gone back to that in the Lite version. You can bring it back or not now. You don't really need to do it now. And over time, again, you'll start to see the data pick up, and this is all Riley putting this all together, right? So you can see the trend log. So I had a pretty good start, and then I dropped, and I've gradually built it back up again. You can start to see the folders. So here's my folder for Matt Gaskell odd time loops. I've been learning. I love polyrhythmic stuff, so I've been really actually committing to actually doing it really well. And here's all the filters. So if I remove that filter, if I do all the sessions, so if I go back here, all sessions, I can pick the filter. I'm going to do this week. Okay, I can pick whether it was, obviously I've only done 2, so I don't need to do that. If I did this month, it will come up for the last 30 days. It will show you more. If I want to look for something specific, I can type in. So this is basically just showing you how full the account will look. And it's really meant to help you visually see what's going on. Okay, so you can clearly see that the Lite version is designed in a way to help you to get started, yeah? To get started, to actually build up a practice routine, to get into the habit of actually practicing and showing up. And just start feeling, you see your most recent focus here. And yes, as time goes on, the Lite version is made a little bit differently, so that you can get into that flow. You already see there's already a folder created, and there's also a recent session. So immediately you'll start to see the benefits. Of course, you need to actually, keep going, so you start to get wins, so that Riley has data to compare it to. So the benefit is that the more you use it, the more you can get to how mine looks. So you can have more fun playing around with routines. And yeah, you need to spend at least 1 month. So you'll need to go from guest to Lite version without any cost to you. And then if you want Riley every day, then you will need to upgrade from Lite to Pro, which is only $59.99 a year, which is pretty good value. At this point in the video, it's time to pause to allow me to give you some context about why I started the app in the first place. First of all, I've been a teacher for quite some time now, and this app was an answer to the fact that students weren't really practicing in between. Not all of them, but majority were not always keeping on top in between lessons. And so the app was a call to that. It was also a call to my own frustration from reflecting over the years with dealing with my own frustration with my practice as well, not really having a clear direction. And I think an app would have really helped me to narrow down my own practice so I could have a clearer focus. As you know, I'm a teacher, not a coder, and I didn't have the budget for one either. So with the rise of AI, I decided to use AI as a tool to help me to start to ideate how this app could look like. I initially started off in a drag and drop based app called Flutterflow, which was very, very difficult, but allowed me to bring myself closer to the app. It wasn't until I started using Claude code where the app really came to life. And now after 6 months of work on it, basically every single day, it's now something that I'm really proud of. There is still more to come. I hope that I can build it to the point where I can bring on a human developer, because there are nuances that a human developer has that an AI doesn't have, and hopefully to bring it into educational institutions and expand my reach. Overall, I didn't want this app to not exist. I didn't want there to be the excuse of, well, I can't code, so I can't build it. I built it anyway. So I've got a question for you. What does your practice look like in between lessons? Let me know in the comments, as it might be helpful for other drummers too. And if you found this walkthrough particularly useful and it made you want to try the app for yourself, then the link will be at the top of the description as usual. With that being said, keep drumming.